I shoot myself in the foot because I didn't bring the picture. I had taken pictures of the South Tower collapsing almost on top of me. But I was fortunate. I outran the collapse of the South Tower. After being covered in all the toxic dust, and we're going to get to the toxicity of that dust in a little bit, I returned to the newly injured, the carnage, and that blaring sound, that beeping. And I knew that that was a firefighter in distress. Didn't know what to do. My triage center had been demolished. So we did what we had to do. We started treating people. And we kept on treating them. And we kept on hearing thumps. And we thought that it was parts of the building collapsing, the parts of the North Tower collapsing. But no, somebody from ATF said, those are humans jumping. I looked up, and people were jumping. Horrible sight to see. I can honestly say that that was the worst day of my career. I got a call for a firefighter down. I looked around for one of my units. Finney had no units available. It was total mayhem and carnage. So I decided to go in to the North Tower, to the mezzanine level where I was told that this firefighter was. I arrived at the mezzanine level and found the firefighter. And I started working on him. He was already in cardiac arrest. I ripped open his turnout gear, applied my defibrillator to him, and started doing CPR and tried to save his life when the unthinkable happened. But much louder. Sort of like that piece that Bobby McIlvaine dropped on the floor. Multiply that by 50. I hear people screaming and yelling, "It's coming down, run for your lives." EMS were taught self-safety first. I did not want to leave this firefighter there, but he was gone already. I wanted to bring his family closure. I ripped off his name tag and began running down the escalator as I was on the mezzanine level. I was injured. I couldn't make it to the exit. I reached into my right pocket, pulled out my rosary beads, and said, "God, I'm coming home." Somebody yelled, "Hey, Citywide, come on, it's coming down." See, we had the names of our company on our backs. I said, "I'm injured, I can't." This gentleman, this hero, this guardian angel that I knew as, at that point, 1236, grabbed me and tried to get me to the exit, get us to the exit, but we were unsuccessful. We made it down the escalator, but we couldn't make it to the door. The building collapsed on top of us. We were covered in rubble. His radio, I had lost my radio, which was recovered 4 days later, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. His radio was still working, gratefully, and he called and gave the location of what exit we were trying to get out. Within minutes, we heard people trying to dig us out. We were gasping for air. I never forget the black soot that was taken out of me when I got to the burn center. They found us. My guardian angel that I only knew as 1236 because my eyes were so burnt, saved my life. I was then rushed to Jacoby Medical Center in the Bronx, which is a burn center. It's a level 1 trauma center. And I was treated for a serious injury to my right eye, and I was treated for 1st and 2nd degree burns. I was treated for approximately 3-4 hours in the emergency room. They had cups on my eyes, flushing my eyes with saline, trying to get the solution out. They were suctioning my nose. They were suctioning my mouth. They were suctioning my ears. And I never forget somebody putting their hand on my forehead and said, "What happened to you?" And excuse my language, and I said, "What the fuck do you think happened to me?" I said, "A skyscraper just fell on top of me." And he says, "I'm sorry." He says, "I'm a New York City police detective. I want to help you. Is there anyone I can contact?" And I said, "There's 2 people, the most 2 important people in my life. My mother and my fiancée, who is now my wife, Diane." After a few hours had gone by and ophthalmology checked my eye out, they put a patch on my eye, and they were ready to admit me to the hospital. And I said, "Hell fucking no." I picked up a phone, I called my office, and I said, "You bring me size large underwear." I said, "You bring me a new pair of uniforms." I said, "You bring me something to put on my feet," because my boots were melted. My boots were gone. They had cut them off me. All my clothes were taken from me. They gave me my personal effects as far as my wallet and my jewelry, and that was it when they decontaminated me on arrival. And I went back to Ground Zero that night. And I stood there till about 11:30 at night. I went home to New Jersey. I was living in Bergen County at the time, in a town called Garfield. And I went into my fiance's arms.